So for this pattern, we're going to be working a big rectangle that we're going to fold over to make a cowl style shawl, and we're going to seam it together along these edges right here. And then these buttons are decorative. They actually aren't any buttonholes, and they are optional for the pattern. So what I'm going to do next is talk to you a little bit about the yarn, and then go through how to make a mini version of this pattern, including how to do this particular stitch, how to do the color changes, how to do the bind off, and how you'll see we did a special edging here, how we do that edging, and also how to fold it over and seam it together. So there's a lot of parts to this shawl, but it is actually a really beginner friendly Tunisian crochet project. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this pattern, you will need one main color and 7 minis. These minis you're going to be using the full 80 grams of these minis. So if you wanted to, you could also do 2 other colors here for this, but you'll need 560 yards of minis in order to do the pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in color 1, and I'm going to show you the Tunisian cross stitch, which is the stitch that we're doing here, and then I'll show you how to do the color changes next. So for this pattern, you'll need a 5.5 millimeter Tunisian crochet hook or hook to meet gauge. Now gauge is going to be really important if you're not using the yarn that I used, because you will need exactly 80 yards. My minis were 98 yards per 20 grams. And so gauge is going to be really important, otherwise you will run out of yarn for this. So to begin this pattern, I'm going to go ahead and make slip knot. And then we're going to take our Tunisian crochet hook, and I'll get the cable out of the way for this. And we're going to go ahead and, for the pattern, you're going to make a larger chain, but for the purposes of this demo, we're going to do a smaller chain. So I'm going to go ahead and work up that chain, and then I'll come back and show you the next steps. So for this particular stitch, you need an even number of stitches. I went ahead and made a chain of 40 for this baby shawl, but for the actual pattern, we did 230 stitches. Now, I flipped this over so I have the back bumps facing me, and I'm going to go ahead and, working in the back bumps, I'm going to pick up a loop, just like that, and I'm going to go ahead and collect loops as I go. And I should have 40 loops at the end of this first row. And what I'm going to do is, when I finish this, I'm going to do my return pass, and then I'll meet you back. So I'm back to the beginning of my row, and I'm going to go ahead and do the Tunisian cross stitch, and let me show you how we're going to do this. So for the Tunisian cross stitch, we're going to go ahead and go through 2 stitches, just like we would for a simple stitch. So we're moving our bar from right to left on the front vertical bars of those stitch, yarning over and pulling through both loops. You'll have 1 loop on your hook, but we've used 2 stitches. So now we're going to go back, and in that first vertical bar, we're going to pick up a stitch 2, just like that. Now this is if we were going to, as you'll see as we build these rows, if we were going to alternate stitches, we'd be doing the lattice stitch. But for the Tunisian cross stitch, all the stitches are going to stay in parallel. So let me show you that one more time so you can see our next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, picking up 2 loops, yarning over, pulling through, then going back into the first stitch of the 2 and yarning over and pulling up a loop. So our stitch count remains constant as we're going. And I got some more yarn, and I'm going to show it to you a couple more times. So next 2 stitches. And the first row is always the most awkward because you're picking up stitches, but it'll make sense as you keep going. So picking up those 2, yarning over, pull through, and then going ahead and pulling through the first one. And you can see they're kind of a little cross stitch. They're super cute stitches. And what's really nice with this stitch is it gives some texture, and it's a variation from just doing the simple stitch, and it opens up lovely when you, in a very beautiful way, when you block it, as you can see when I showed you the shawl. So I'm going through 2, and we will have this should work out perfectly if you do an even number of stitches where you just have one stitch at the end to make up for the one stitch that you have solo at the beginning. So I'm going to keep working this, then I'm going to do my return pass, and then we're going to repeat this row, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So I'll finish this row, do my return pass, and then meet you back to show you the next step. So we finished the second row here, and we've done the cross stitch, and you can see how the stitches are kind of grouped up. And what we're going to do is just do the exact same thing, but this time it'll be a little bit easier because we can actually see our stitches. So going in from right to left in those front vertical bars, we're going to pick up those 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through both, and then go back and just pick up that first stitch, just like that. So again, we're going to go ahead and pick up 2 stitches, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through 1, just like that, and then repeat both. Like that, and then go through again. Just like that. So as you can see, you're getting this really nice effect of these cross stitches going up. So I'm going to repeat that again, go through the whole row, and when I come back on the return pass when I have 2 loops left on my hook, I'm going to go ahead and change colors, and I'll come back and show you how to do that. So I'm back with one of the colors, and what I'm going to go ahead and do, I have 2 loops left on my return pass. I'm going to go ahead and just bring that color in, and then I'm going to pull through with that color. I'm going to make sure that the old color and the new color are snug, and then I'm just going to repeat what I've been doing before. So going in, picking up 2, then going back and picking up the first and making that cross stitch, and we're just making this in a row. And with the pattern, you do 3 rows first of color 1, then you go to 5 rows of color 2, then you go back to color 1, and then you alternate and you bring in color 3 after that. So you get a stripe effect, as you can see in the shawl. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working, and I'm going to do this until I have several rows of this. Then I'm going to go back and add color 1 back in, and what I'll do is I'll show you the next steps after that. So repeat your shawl, go through, do your color changes, and then we'll meet back to show you what the next steps are for our final row. So for this next step, I'm going to show you how to do the Tunisian cross stitch bind off. So this is going to be very similar to every bind off that we do, in that we're going to be mainly moving 1 loop along as we travel. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and pick up 2 loops, pull through the 1 loop that we already had on our hook. So we're continuing with 1, but then we still want to get that cross stitch look. So we're going to go ahead and go back in, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to pull through that one through the next loop, just like that. So I'm going to do another couple more. So pull through both loops till you have 1 loop, pick up that other stitch, pull through, just like that. So one more time, go through both, and then pick up that one and go through both loops, just like that. Just like that. So you can see we're getting a really pretty little bind off with the nice scalloped edge. So I'm going to finish this, then I'm going to tie off my ends, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to work the edges along the side, and also how we're going to do our final seaming. So I'm about to do my last Tunisian stitch here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull through, but I'm not going to fasten off. What I'm going to do instead is turn my work to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to work our border. So what we're going to do is we're going to be working in rows to add the border, and we're going to add a row for the first stitch here as well as at the end. So I'm going to go ahead And I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to turn our work so that we're actually facing this way, and we're going to work the border in similar to how you would add in single crochet or crochet ribbing. We're going to be doing the same thing. So I have my stitch here. I'm going to pick up that I have 4 loops on my hook, 2 to go along with those 4 chains. That's 3 and 4. And then we're going to actually work into the side here. Now, we are going to be adding in an extra row. So in the same stitch that we did the last Tunisian stitch, we're going to pick up a stitch just like that. And then I'm going to pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And this is our simple stitch row. Now we're also going to be doing a purl stitch row. So next, I'm going to bring my yarn to the front and do a purl stitch just like that, and then we're going to continue doing purl stitches. So we're going to do 3 purl stitches total, 2, 3, just like that, and then we're going to work into the side of the first row, both chains, yarn over, pull up a loop, keep that nice and snug, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we're going to do our regular simple stitch. 1, 2, and then sometimes this last stitch is hard to see, but it's right here. You can see it right there. 4, and then we're going to work into the next row just like that. 2, 3, 4. So you can see how that's working, and just like that. Now we're going to do our purl stitch row. So pulling that yarn forward, going through, and I'm going to keep doing this till I get to the end where I'm alternating rows of simple stitches and purl stitches. And then I'm going to show you how to do the next step. So we're here for our last row, and you can see I have 3 going into the side here, but we're going to do our bind off row, and for our bind off row we're going to actually work into the top of the next stitch, so it's going to act as an extra row, kind of how we did for our first row there at the to start. So I'm doing just a regular bind off, so I'm pulling through, but when I get to my last stitch, I'm actually going to be working in the top of that corner stitch right there, and just do a bind off just like that. So then we're going to go ahead and just fasten that off. Now for the actual pattern, you will repeat the same border here. So you would flip your work around, slip stitch into here, make a chain of 4, and then work the pattern the same way we did here. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how to do the seaming next. So I'm going to grab a needle and I'll meet you back. So for the next part, you're going to grab a very long length of yarn. I used about 3 to 4 times, probably 4 times the area of the V. And how we make the V is when you have your flat rectangle, you're going to take it and just rotate it. So I'm holding it, I'm going to fold it so that the 2 corners touch, just like that. So that's my little baby shawl right there. I'm going to tuck these in so you don't have to see them. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 things. We're going to seam along the edge, and then we're actually going to tack this down. So you don't see it here because I don't have the border on, but it would actually be on the borders. You're going to be working the gray back, and you're going to be working through the gray, so it's not going to be noticeable. So in color 1, we're taking a nice long piece of color 1. I'm going to find my corners, and I would actually recommend that you count. So let's do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're gonna kind of go into this corner right here. Even though we had 8 rows, we're gonna just go right in there and just hold that. And I like to go in here, make it nice and secure twice. And all we're gonna do now is we're just gonna seam these edges in really nice and easy, just like that. Just line it up, go through, seam together, and make it nice and snug. Go through here, just like that. Get this out of the way. And what our goal is for this is just to bring those edges together. Now again, in the pattern, this would be on the border, but since we skipped that for the demo, you're not going to see it, but you will notice the difference when we're doing the gray on gray here. Then we're just going to keep going around the corner, and if you want to, you can always add a couple more loops into your corner there just to keep it nice and extra strong. And then this side is a little bit easier because it's already lined up for us. We're just going to go right in and just do a nice little stitch pattern. Okay, so now that we've gotten to our last stitch, I like to go ahead and just, make it a little nice and snug by going through again. We're gonna flip to the wrong side of the shawl, just like this. Now what happens is that in the actual shawl, especially if you add the buttons, it makes it kind of curl in, and we don't want this to be floating, we want it to be attached. So what we're gonna do is just going through here, we're gonna just go through so that we're kind of just tacking it down. We're gonna go through here, and just to show you, it's really not noticeable on this side. And then I'm gonna go across the way a little bit higher than where my yarn is coming out here. Go through and do the same thing on that side, just like that, and then come through again, go through just like that, and then we're going to go up the side of the pattern here. So I'm going to go back onto this side and go through, and again you're going to be going through that border normally. Let me just pull my yarn out and then come back, and you really want to get this corner nice and snug, and it's going to really make a difference with this cowl to take that extra time to just tack this down. And come back up, and you can go, if you have enough yarn or if you feel like it's not strong enough, you can go back all the way, but we're going to stop here, and I'm just going to feed this through here just to get there. And again, you're not going to notice the gray yarn that's coming up. You can also take smaller little pieces if you're worried about it, but you want to make sure that you're getting it all the way through so that these are connected to the front piece is tacked down to the back, and that's it. And then you can add your buttons if you want to. I really think the buttons did a great job of adding a little fun design element to the shawl, but that's it. There's our little shawl. So here again is the final pattern, and you can see how this is really connected here, like I can't pull it apart. So I did a really thorough job of tacking that down. You can kind of see on the back side where I took those little pieces of the shawl to go through, but you don't see anything on the front side for that. And I went all the way through on this side, so this side is also really tight and tacked down, and it's going to help with the drape. Overall though, the drape on this shawl is really incredible. How it opened up, how it you can see the stitching, how that really turned out. So, and this shawl has incredible drape when you wear it, and it's super nice and cozy. So I hope you like this pattern. Please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me know which patterns you guys like. And also please subscribe. It helps to grow the channel. Thanks and happy crocheting.